Good morning to you and welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show right here on Clock TV. We are coming to you live from our studios here within the Ministerial Enclave. We are also live on Go TV channel 184. I am your host, Kojo Nsia. And today we have interesting conversations coming your way. And if you're about to leave the comfort of your home, do not worry because we've got you covered. All you need is your laptop, iPad or phone. Just get connected to your internet. Log onto your WhatsApp, log onto your Facebook or YouTube account and type Koko Digest and you will find us there. You can engage us with your thought, your suggestion and everything concerning what we'll be discussing here. And then talking about what we'll be discussing, we have interesting lineup for you. We are still celebrating women. We are still celebrating women right here on the show as we started on this very Ghana month. We started celebrating, some astute women who actually contributed to the development of Ghana. Today we are continuing and we are talking about, women as well. We are shining the spotlight on, powerful women who are still shaping the story of Ghana. From, education to leadership and to, development. Today, we'll be talking about the well-known quiz mistress. The well-known quiz mistress. I'm talking about National Science and Maths Quiz. Professor Elsie Efa Koofman. We'll be talking about her impact of, on STEM education. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We'll also be talking about the first, Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nana Abba Amfu. We'll also be talking about her. And then we'll take you down the memory lane as well. We'll be talking about history. As we talk about the present, we'll be talking about the history. We'll be talking about the bravest woman in the history of the Ashanti people. We'll be talking about the woman who led the Ashantis in the fight against the British for the golden stool, the Sikajwa Kofi. And then on the online and print paper review, we'll be talking about something trending currently. It's about the recruitment into the security services of Ghana. There has been some, ups and downs. People are complaining about the number of people who actually bought forms and the number of people who got the opportunity to actually serve. We'll be talking about that as well. And then on the online segment, on the lifestyle segment, it's going to be very interesting. We'll be talking about our local foods, our traditional foods. We'll be talking about that. So you don't have to go anywhere. You have to stay with us. And as usual, I'm not going to do this alone. I'll be doing this with my wonderful co-hosts who are poised and ready for this conversation. And as usual, as we've been doing, before we get into the real conversations, we give you some motivational quotes, some motivation to help you, stick and stay with us. So it's now time for our motivational quote. All right, today our motivational quote is from an astute man. And it looks very simple, but it's very deep. Knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Knowledge is power. Information is liberating, by Kofi Annan. Let me repeat it again. Knowledge is power. And some people would like to say power. Knowledge is power. Information is liberating. And it means this quote emphasizes the importance of education and access to information in empowering individuals and societies. Kofi Annan believed that when people are educated and well informed, they are better able to make decisions, defend their rights, and contribute to development. Information frees people from ignorance and manipulation, allowing them to participate meaningfully in democracy, innovation, and nation building. So as we know, knowledge is power, and that is evident. We can see it. It's inevitable. We know that knowledge is power, and information is liberating. Information is liberating. So when you are privy to, something, it actually helps you to, maneuver your way out. And so whatever thing, as we read, as we listen to news, whatever thing we do, we get information, and that contributes to our, decisions in life. Right? When you have knowledge, you're able to, contribute to society and, other important things as well. And so today we are telling you that knowledge is power. So when you seek knowledge and then you actually know what is going on around you, you become well informed and you're able to take decisions that benefit you. With that being said, let's take a look at how the weather is going to be like today. Yeah, so what you're seeing on your screen is a 24-hour impact-based forecast from Ghana, and this is by the Ghana Meteorological Agency. And so today, the partly cloudy conditions will dominate across the country with mist and fog patches expected over the coastal, forest, and higher areas. As the day progresses, generally bright and sunny weather will dominate most parts of the country. However, from late afternoon into the evening, thunderstorms or rain are anticipated to affect parts of the middle and transition and northern sector. Slightly hazy conditions will persist over the extreme northern portion of the country throughout the forecast period. I know today there's been some changes. It's not like the usual weather forecast that we've been seeing. Today, the northern part of Ghana is expecting rainfall. That is, there's about 40% chance of rain in the northern region today in Ghana. As well as I stated, Aflao, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, this morning the weather is partly cloudy. And then in the afternoon, the weather will be very sunny. They are going to experience sunny periods with a very high temperature, which ranges from 33 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius. And then getting into the evening, the weather is going to be partly cloudy. And then taking a look at those within the transition sector to the northern sector, towns like Koforidua, Chimboda, Kumasi, and Obuasi, this morning they are experiencing misty conditions. And then as GMET has been advising us, whenever we're experiencing misty conditions, drivers are advised to use their headlights and reduce speed. And it is going to be very sunny in the afternoon as well and partly cloudy in the evening. And so from Tamale, Yendi, Techima, Bole, Damango, and Boligatanga, this morning it is partly cloudy day. And then in the afternoon, there's a 30% chance of rain, and the weather is going to be very hot. And in the evening as well, they should expect rain. The people of Wanelerugu, Boligatanga, Damango, Gosu, Sunya, Techima, Yendi, they should all expect rain. And that is all I have for you today on the weather forecast. Up next is the online and print paper review with my co-hosts who are already seated. Stay with us. Please don't go anywhere. You're welcome back. If you are just tuning in, you're watching the Koko Digest Morning Show right here on Clock TV. And it's now time for the online and print paper review segment with my co-hosts who are already seated here. I have Nana Yao Asare and Annabelle Ajibia. Ajibia. Yes, remember we are still celebrating the Ghana month. Right? Yeah. Good morning to you, lady and gentleman. Good morning, Peter. How has your should I say day? We are still in the early hours of the day. So how was yesterday? How was yesterday for you? Yesterday was cool. Just that we had some, troubling news. Ghana, a whole lot of things like is happening, and then we heard some news which we were not really happy. Me personally, I wasn't really happy with it. I don't know for Nanado, but yeah.
It depends on the news.
But I think today we are going to talk about it.
So for me, as Peter would say, divine selection. Okay, and then we are up and then we are grateful. So all glory to God. And this has now become one of the favorite parts of my day. Looking forward to having this particular discussions and how to move Ghana forward. Exactly. So yes.
And then Najibia, yes, I'm tempted to say Beverly. Najibia, your hairstyle, I must say you're looking stunning this morning. Yes, but your hairstyle, is there anything, any secret about it? Because I know where you're going. Let me just educate you. So if you can see that this hairstyle is trending, you should know that we are in the Ghana month, and this particular hairstyle is called Tanavoho braids.
What was that?
Tanavoho braids.
Tanavoho?
Yes, Tanavoho braids. It actually came from, the water parts of Ghana, mostly among the airways and some part of Togo as well. So back in the days, they do this hair to, symbolize their culture, especially as black women. And then if you can look at the hair closely, this is like an extension, because my natural hair doesn't look like this.
Have said that.
No. Yes.
Actually your hair.
So we are trying to emulate, the people back then. Okay.
Where they had rich textured,
hair. But nowadays you don't even actually see that. You see them doing the extension just to emulate what they've been doing. So basically, if you see this hair, it represents art and culture of the water region, and then part of the francophone country in Togo. So Tanavoho braids.
Tanavoho braids. My issue right now on this particular morning show is with Kojonsia.
Okay.
Because why have I also gone to cut my hair? And I've tried my possible best to look the freshest I can look this week.
You see.
And Kojonsia has not commented on it.
Oh, Nana.
But now Jebia has done her hair.
Patience, they say it moves mountain. Like you always
come and flatter me with your words. Like we were moving on. We were moving on. Come and flatter me with your words.
Like you always say, you always want to play.
We will meet backstage and then we'll see what
you see. You always want to play the gentleman, and so I decided to go to her first, then come to you, so that together we can compliment you. I like it.
Peter is coming.
Ladies first, as you say. That is just by the way, and you can see they are looking so poised, looking so handsome. Thank you. I mean, I like your tone. I like your shirt. You are giving the.
I was trying to look like yours. Mine to look like yours.
You didn't talk about my top. Me too. I'm jealous because I'm bringing color to our screen. Color combinations. Color combinations. I mean, that is just by the way, and so we are still celebrating the Ghana month right here on Clock TV. And we know that we are also celebrating the Ghana month as well. We are honoring our heroes, and we are reflecting on some of the things, our rich cultural heritage and what have you. We started talking about, the games that actually remind us of the past. We've spoken about food. Today we'll be talking about food. And the lifestyle setting. Yes. We started something by celebrating our astute women who actually contributed to the attainment of independence and the development of Ghana at large. And so if I can remind viewers, we spoke about the woman on the 50 pesos coin. We spoke about Convention Kujo. We spoke about the first ever woman to be enlisted into the Ghana Police Service. We spoke about Adwoa Bayo and many other important personalities, Ifua, Sutherland, and what have you. Today, too, we'll be talking about two astute women as well. We'll be talking about Sophia Oboshi-Doku and then the popular Yasantua, the Ejiso, the Queen of Ejiso, the woman who actually led the Ashantis to fight, the British for the Sikejwa Kofi, the golden stool. And so, Bevelyn, I'll start with you.
Right.
Yes. What do you have for us today? This
I have a lot. We are going to be talking about Yasantua, how her biography actually. When we talk about the Ashanti Kingdom, we cannot, go without talking about her because she plays, a very important role. Or she played a very important role when it comes to the history of the Ashanti. So let's start. Yasantua was born around the year 1840 in Bisiase, near Ejisu in the Ashanti region of present-day Ghana. She grew up during the height of the Ashanti Empire, one of the very most powerful kingdoms in the whole of West Africa. And she was a successful farmer and also a community leader. So she later became the Queen Mother of Ejisu, which you all know. In the Ashanti political system, the Queen Mother plays a very powerful role, including advising the kings and also nominating chiefs as well. So her brother, Nana Afani Penny, became the chief of Ejisu, and she supported him politically and administratively. So now let's look at the political context before, the whole war between the Ashantis and then the British. So by the late 1800s, the British Empire was expanding across Africa. The Ashanti Kingdom had fought several wars with the British, known as the Anglo-Ashanti Wars. We learned this in social studies. So in the year 1896, the British captured the Ashanti king, Prempeh I, and was taken to Seychelles Island. So many chiefs were also in exile then. This created political instability in the Ashanti Kingdom because you came down and then you've captured our people into captivity. Now, the most important symbol in the Ashanti region we know is the golden stool, which we were told that the stool represented the soul of the Ashanti Kingdom. It was something that no one could even sit on it. But then the British came and then they wanted to, capture the seat. Something that we the natives, we are not able to get closer or we are not able to sit on it. And you are saying that they should bring the stool to you for you to sit on it.
We were told that it was commanded from the sky. And
yes, something that was commanded from the sky, and you want to sit on it. Interesting. So let's continue. So the most important symbol in the Ashanti Kingdom we were told, is the soul of the Ashanti region, which is the golden stool. So the stool was believed to have, brought from the sky, as Peter rightfully said. It is never sat upon. Nobody could sit on that chair, not even the king himself. So in the 1900s, the British governor of the Gold Coast, Frederick Mitchell Hudson, demanded the Ashanti chiefs bring him the golden stool so he could sit on it. This shocked the chiefs. It came as a shock because the stool represented the soul of the entire nation, not even the Ashanti alone, but the entire nation. So during a meeting of the chiefs, many were afraid to fight with the British. And that is where Yasantua stood up and delivered a very powerful speech. And I quote, it says that if you, the men of Ashanti, will not go forward, then we, the women, will. And I'll take this quote again. It says that if you, the men of Ashanti, will not go forward, we, the women, will. So this speech, shamed the chiefs and mobilized the Ashanti people to fight. Because it's like, we've given you the power. The men, back then the men, dominated everywhere, every part of the world. Even now, men still dominate. So for the fact that a woman would come up and then stand up for and fight, for the rights of their people, that should tell you how very much they would take her. So her speech shamed the chiefs, and this war was called the War of the Golden Stool. So In the year March 1900, the war began, and the Ashanti forces surrounded the British fort in Kumasi, and the Ashanti lay siege for months. At the height of the conflict, about 20,000 Ashanti warriors, went for the war, but the British forces were trapped in the fort.
About 20,000 Ashanti warriors.
A lot of people. That was a lot of people. So over 2,000 Ashanti fighters. About 2,000 Ashanti fighters, died during the war. And when it comes to war, is it that you fight and win, or you fight and lose? So that's the outcome.
Of the fittest.
Yeah, survival of the fittest. So by the late 1900, the British forces defeated the rebellion. Yasantua and other chiefs were captured and taken to exile to the Seychelles. So yeah, that was it. So Yasantua took the fight for the Ashantis, and that is the main reason why she's being remembered in the Ashanti Kingdom for, fighting for her people.
All right, and so that is very interesting. And so when you take a look at the British and the Ashantis at that time, in terms of, fight, like all odds were against the Ashanti Kingdom, because there's no way they could have, fought the British so easily. Yeah. And so
because they were their colonial masters.
Exactly. So it boils down to the fact that what can today's leaders, especially women, pick up from Yasantua's leadership? With the explanation you give, the history you give, one can actually say that she was brave.
Very brave.
And then the speech, you made mention of what she said, that if the men are not ready,
the women will take up the fight.
They will take up the fight. And so in terms of braveness, one can say that the woman was actually brave. Yeah. And so bringing it down to modern Ghana, we have so many women in power currently. Exactly. And where we are privileged to have the first ever woman to become vice president in Ghana. We have women also, leading some leadership positions, like we have the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana. Right. Before her, there were so many other women who also rose to that level. And so they can actually pick up so for me, it's the braveness for me. Yeah.
Not only that part, but even in our society, before it even gets to, the hierarchy or up there, even in churches, now we see women as pastors, we see women as reverends, even in our homes, like the nuclear family, there are women that pick up the role. That they have shared roles, like what the man is supposed to do, what the woman is supposed to do. But now, the whole world is evolving, okay? There are women that take up the role of men and then do it with braveness and then the confidence. So yeah, the world is changing, and I like the fact that today woman is different, or is different from yesterday's woman, because out of the many women, it was the woman that stood up among the men. Yeah. So I think it is.
Nana, Nigeria has spoken at length, and then she's hit the nail right on the head when it comes to Yasantua. I mean, she's a woman that has inspired generations and generations of women. You cannot talk about female empowerment in Africa, in Ghana, even in the world, without mentioning Yasantua. Imagine a woman leading men at war. It's not even seen these days. So she's someone that a lot of women and even men look up to for bravery and courage when it comes to these times. Imagine what we are seeing in America and then Iran. And then Iran's supreme leader is a woman who is fighting. These things are not just common. That should just tell you the sort of brain that she was carrying and the sort of courage and the sort of aura she exuded for this. So Yasantua is someone that we should all celebrate and keep celebrating.
But then there's a question also about the fact that looking at the circumstances surrounding the situation at that time, and then she's showing up. Do you think that, like, today's woman, like Beverly said, is actually trying her best to also stand up in terms of situation, or because we've started what we call women empowerment, gender equality and all that, and so they pick up these positions so easily, not because there's a need or there's a pressing need for a woman to act, but because we are saying that we have to give women the opportunity to also act. We create that opportunity, we create that avenue for them, and then they just pick up, it's just on the silver platter.
So I'll take it from this particular point. Two angles to it, whether you are comparing women of today and women of those days. Now, the reason why this conversation is even there to be had in the first place, especially in areas that we find ourselves in, like Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, is because a woman has done it before. And prior to her, can you think before that prior to her, can you just even think about a name of a woman that had done this? So someone would say, Kwame Nkrumah proud, like, so that Ghanaian politicians could walk now. So now the same Yasantua sacrificed herself, her family, whatever she had at the time, so that generations to come, women will be able to have it easier to walk. Now, these conversations are even opened and are being had because someone like Yasantua has done it before. So that is the first light that we should look at it in. And women like that are once in a generation, are once in a lifetime, are once in maybe forever. And just that she has been able to do that and to inspire people to be able to live on their dreams. Even trickling it down to when we had independence, women being allowed to go to school. Because whenever, in some years back, women were not allowed to be in the classrooms. But now, whenever people are picking the argument, the first thing you hear is even Yasantua was. So then it brings you the question, it brings you the fact that she has lived that particular legacy so that she could be used as an example to many people. When you talk about Yasantua, whether she can be emulated by other women have done extremely wonderful things in areas of education, in areas of business and the likes. But what she has done in terms of leadership, what she has done in terms of showing courage, I think is second to none and should be commended. So I don't think there can be another woman that can say that I can topple what Yasantua did. You can always trace or walk your own path to fulfill what God has planned for you.
Sure. Exactly. Yes, so you can join the conversation by sending us a WhatsApp message on the number displayed on your screen. We are also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can engage us with your thoughts as well via that platform, and I'll gladly read them aloud. What do you think about Yasantua? Today's woman, do you think they exhibit the bravery of Yasantua and the opportunities created for them? Are they using it very well? Yes, it's not. We are not talking about only Yasantua today. We are also talking about Sophia Duku, and Nana will take us through her achievement, what she actually did for the country Ghana.
So, just to bring to remembrance, just reminding us of what we did last week. We talked about Mabel Dove Dankwa, and we said she was the first person to be appointed as a legislative council member of the Gold Coast. So now we are talking about the first woman who was the first female member of parliament. Remember that in those days there was the difference between member of parliament and then a legislative council. So when you are part of the legislative council, you are not just representing your people in parliament, but you are part of the people that make laws in Ghana. So Mabel Dove Dankwa, which was the wife of former president or J.B. Dankwa, part of the Big Six, and Akufo-Addo's grandmother was then part of the legislative council. Now, this particular woman we are going to talk about is called Sophia Oboshi Doku. So Sophia Oboshi Doku was a trained teacher and the first member of parliament for female member of parliament. Now, her journey began with the UGCC when Power Grant was mobilizing people to form the UGCC. She was part of the founding members of that particular political party, that's the UGCC, and she was one of the first executive members of UGCC. Now, she was a trained teacher. So like several other women activists, she later on joined the CPP. That is when it was formed by Kwame Nkrumah. And Doku made the history, as I mentioned earlier, to become the first female parliamentarian, that's the member of parliament, in the first parliament of the First Republic. So beyond her role in public service, that is in parliament, in 1953, she was also appointed as the Assistant Welfare Officer at the Department of Social Welfare. So you know the Department of Social Welfare. Kwame Nkrumah was prioritizing that because at the time we needed to develop a lot of skills for Ghanaians because most of them were school leavers and they were working based on their handcrafted skills. So they were skilled men who were working at the time in Ghana. So she was the first person to be appointed as the social welfare Assistant Social Welfare Officer at the Department of Social Welfare. So in 1958, that is 1 year after independence, Kwame Nkrumah set up something called the Ghanaian Builders Brigade. So if you don't know about the Ghanaian Builders Brigade, the Ghanaian Builders Brigade was something that was set up at independence in 1957. One of the flagship programs, like the way we saw Agenda 111, the way we are seeing the big push, we are seeing one of the flagship programs for the CPP at the time, the Conventionist People Party, was the Builders Brigade. They had the Builders Brigade, they had the Young Pioneers. Some of these things were just aimed at shaping people to equip them with the necessary skills and the requisite knowledge that they needed in their crafts. So what they decided was that now we are going to look at areas in agriculture. We are going to look at areas in, let's say, metalworks. We are going to look at areas where a lot of people need employment, because at the time the formal employment was saturated with what we call the akrachifo. Those who were the ones who were working in the ministry, the learned people. But the unemployment rate was really high because school availability of schools was not even in all of the regions. It wasn't decentralized to a certain extent. So
not to cut you short, it's currently like something like the 24-hour economy. It's just to create jobs for the youth. So something like that. So yes, so that's why I was saying that it was Kwame Nkrumah, one of his flagship programs. That the Builders Brigade. So they set up that it was founded as a response to rapid urbanization and growing unemployment. The Builders Brigade aimed to create a new, productive and modern citizenry by running the country's young men and women through the land, through a network of mechanized work, as I said. So they had mechanized work camps and they had state farms. So it was remembered as both a locus for party intimidation and indiscipline, as well as a source of political opportunity. The brigade emerged as a key site of generationally defined and gendered debates over the roles of responsibility of the country's youth in the first decade of first rule. So that is during the first decade or the first period of first rule. So, and mind you, who was the person that was headed or was appointed to be the superintendent of the Gold Coast or Ghana Builders Brigade? So now the Ghana's Builders Brigade, that is, or at the time, Ghana was still the Gold Coast, it was still at the Republic. So that was in 1958. She was the one who was made to head that particular business, and she made a lot of training sites, which unfortunately Ghana couldn't continue. So if we had probably maybe changed the name or maybe maintained the name, the Builders Brigade, and we had put in a lot of things, like we would have seen the fruits of this particular woman's labor. So she was a teacher who superintended making sure that everyone or the unlearned were equipped with skills and were given jobs. So once you are equipped with agricultural skills, what they do is that they get you government. At the time, government had big silos. As you can see, some of them are still even in existence in Tema. They will give you a farmland and give you transportational, how do you call it, facilities, so that you can be able to produce
and then transport them to the silos. And that was how come feeding was done for the different battalions. Feeding was done for the schools that were having established and all that. So we had like a proper system running. Sure. And she was one of the main people. But besides that, when Kwame Nkrumah was exiled, when Kwame Nkrumah was also incarcerated in 1951 as well, this same Sophia Doku, Sophia Naoboshi Doku, was one of the women who held a crusade or a campaign, I should say, in the Ashanti region. That birthed women, other women like Ama Nkrumah. Ama Nkrumah, who we'll talk about sometime soon, because she's one of the women that was so much emulating Kwame Nkrumah to an extent that people forget her name and then call her Ama Nkrumah. There was a time that she mounted the stage where Sophia Doku was. And after
she wasn't related to Nkrumah?
No.
Okay.
Well, she was an Ashanti woman. Where Sophia Doku was, after Sophia Doku gave an inspiring speech and all that, Ama Nkrumah mounted the stage and took a knife and slashed her face. When Kwame Nkrumah was incarcerated and blood was dripping down, she smeared the blood all over her body and said, "This is what it means to fight for Ghana's independence." I think about these things.
A woman did that?
A woman did that on a campaign to galvanize men to fight for the struggle of independence, that it is not going to come cheap. It's going to come through blood, sweat, and toil. And these are women that we need to be celebrated time again. And as a result of that particular deed by these women that we are talking about, even when Kwame Nkrumah was in prison in 1951, he was the person to have won. He won the seat for what we call the Odododio constituency, which is now the Accra Central constituency, which was then the Accra Central constituency. So the women, when we talk about women and independence and the struggle for independence, some of these women are unsung. But a woman like Sophia Oboshi Doku and her efforts in Ghana gaining independence and her efforts in what we see as modern Ghana is undoubted, and I think she should continually be celebrated.
Her contributions are undoubted, and Nana thinks she should be continually be celebrated. You're still watching the Koko Digest Morning Show, and this is the online and print paper review. Our WhatsApp number is being displayed on your screen, and so you can engage us with your thoughts. If you also have this particular woman in mind, an astute woman in mind, if you think that you want to share with us, we will welcome you. And so we forgot something. I mean, the word of the day.
Hey.
So we are going to take our word of the day. Yes. I'm like a mathematics teacher. Hey. You know, times that you think, no, this teacher is not going to come.
They're not going to do mental.
Oh, you see him with his cane, walking majestically. Yeah. You know, they always come when it's raining, when the weather is not conducive for studies.
On strike.
You see them there.
When the army teacher doesn't show up, then they want to come and take the
when it's time for music and dance and nobody shows up. When it's time for library or PE and the PE teacher says that he cannot come.
Mathematics teacher will come.
Maths teacher come.
Mathematics teachers, why? So today I'm the mathematics teacher on the show. And so it's time for word of the day. Word of the day. And I think as the show progresses, I mean, we should dedicate one of the days to, test viewers to see if they actually remember the words and even our quotes, motivational quotes.
Yeah, I really like today's quote.
You love it?
I really, really, really like it, yeah.
All right, so our word of the day is, it should be displayed on your screen by now. Our word of the day. So today too, I'm going to read and you tell me what the word is. Dash is something valuable left behind for future generations, such as achievements, values, or national progress. Dash. So choose from the alternatives, letter A to D. So A is legacy. B is, let me say, democracy. C is innovation.
Oh, you sold yourself out already.
Yeah. So the word So, do you have an idea?
You sold yourself out. Why don't you mention?
Okay. So, for me, sometimes in class, those who always, make an attempt to answer questions. For me, my batch, those were the people who actually did not know the answer.
Yes, exactly.
So, they don't want
really?
Yes,
the teacher that you don't want the teacher to
call you. So,
immediately, it's easy. Then you just raise up your hand.
Interesting. It was different at my end.
So the teachers usually want everyone to follow. So when you raise up your hand, and then especially if he's going to lash, then he's not going to call you. He wants to call other people that don't know, so that he will either lash them or do understand.
Oh, it was different in my end.
So it is the vim that you used to tell them that yes,
I know.
But who will be tied to you when one day you raise up your hand?
They don't know, and it's why you.
Then on this note, I would like to share my experience. SHS Form 1, literature. So our teacher came to class and he said something. He said, "Jakpata, menya ku." We are about 70 in class. I'm that quiet type who doesn't talk. So I was seated at the far end. So the man came who said, "Jakpata, menya ku." Who understands it? I don't know what came over me.
That sounds Elmer.
Then yes. Then I told him, I understand, because I used to listen to my dad used to listen to this song. Say, "Jakpata menya vimenya ku onyumtinia ne hoye ne de." So immediately I heard onyumtinia ne hoye ne de. So Jakpata, I said, he said yes, and I said onyumtinia ne hoye ne de. He said, "Come again." Said onyumtinia ne hoye ne de. I knew Charlie my child in a cry. He said, "Come." I'm going to say, "Hey, you are deceiving the class."
So what did he say? The meaning
he doesn't understand. So he wants to know, but then the explanation I gave, he knew that no, the guy is telling lies. And so on to our word of the day. The word of the day is legacy. Legacy. And so, as usual, you will form a sentence with it, or you tell us how you understand the word, and you form a sentence with it.
Right.
Who is going first? So I don't want Nana to sabotage me, so
let Nana go first. Gentlemen first.
Hey, this one, they know ladies first.
No, gentlemen.
I think I disagree. So always ladies first.
So
on the show, yeah.
So let me just let's go back to the word, which is legacy. I'm sure it should be displayed on your screen now. Something valuable left behind for future generations, such as achievements, values, or national progress. The word should be there. And then the word legacy, let's tackle it from its original causes. It originates from Latin word called legatus, meaning an ambassador, envoy, or deputy. So that's where it originates from. And through medieval Latin, legatia, and then Old French, it was called legacy, with C-I-E at the end. So it was to signify the function of a deputy, eventually entering Middle English in 1384 to describe a gift left in a will before broadening to mean inheritance or what is passed down, as we are seeing on our screen. So then the Latin roots means that it is derived from legatus or legar, to delegate or to bequeath. So that is how it's now. So either from legatus, meaning ambassador, envoy, or deputy. So that's the original meaning, or the Latin meaning, where the word came from. And you know that what do you give to an ambassador? You give an ambassador, you delegate an ambassador tasks. So you delegate to an envoy or a deputy task. So you pass down responsibilities from you to. And then it then went into medieval English in 1384 to mean that a gift that we are passing down, rather than just the responsibilities and the tasks that are given to your deputies. So now it has now transcended to what we call as legacy. And mind you, it was also passed through Old French before it came to medieval English. Old French, it was called legacy. So Legacie. That's what it meant. And then it was being passed down and trickled down from people to people. And then we have what we mean as maybe an inheritance or something that you have left down, or just as the definition plays it in what we call in now modern English.
Legacy.
Right.
Najibia.
Potential.
How do you understand? Or you just want to form a sentence with it?
I'm just going to form the sentence.
A sentence with it.
So from the definition and the background, Nana Yao gave. I think I can say that helping people, maybe building schools, helping in national developments, I think can lead to a long-lasting legacy. Yeah, because this is you helping, like the community, okay? It's something they are going to remember. It's something they are going to put it in history that, Nana Yao Asari helped the community, do a manhole so that they can get water supply. And that's like a very long-lasting impact because generations and generations are coming to, benefit from it. Yeah. So this
Interesting. And that can be linked to the quote of the day in a way.
Yeah.
See, the quote was, knowledge is power, information is liberating.
Right.
Knowledge is power, information is liberating. So when you have knowledge about something, you then have the power to act. And then when you are privy to certain information, you are able to make decisions that actually benefit yourself, your family, and the society at large. So that then becomes a legacy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so you're still watching the Koko Digest Morning Show, and this is the online and print paper review segment where we are talking about, astute women who actually contributed to the development of this country. We've spoken about Ya Asantewaa, the Ejiso Queen, and we've also spoken about Oboshi. The name keeps skipping. Now Oboshi as well. I mean, Nana has given us
Sophia
Oboshi Doku. Yes. So we are moving on to what is actually trending currently in Ghana. That is the recruitment of the security services. A whole lot of conversations are ongoing about the number of people who actually bought forms, the number of people who qualified, and the aptitude test as well. A lot of people are raising concerns. And, the amount of money charged for the forms. And then when you juxtapose that to the number of people who qualified or the number of people who bought the forms, it means that the Interior Ministry is actually going to generate roughly about 9 million Ghana cedis from the sales of the forms alone. And then people are asking, who actually fund the operation or the recruitment process? Is it government or the ministry itself? There are so many questions. The minority in Parliament have actually spoken. The Deputy Chief Whip for, the NDC has actually, spoken. And so let's take a listen to what the Interior Minister himself said about the recruitment process ongoing and everything surrounding it. Let's take a look at it.
Instructed that, look, those who qualify and pass medicals, let's keep the data. This is the first phase. We are hoping that maybe later in the, because remember this current recruitment that we are doing is a 2025 recruitment. Hopefully when we are out of the IML, we could do the 2026. So we'll pick from that same data. Hopefully, if maybe it's past 6 months, then you can only ask them to repeat medicals, but not to start opening the process all over again. The president instructed that, look, those who qualify and pass medicals, let's keep the data.
That's right. And so that was the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mohammed. So I'd like to come to you. Nana, what actually did you gather about this whole recruitment process and what Ghanaians are saying? If you can give us the numbers, the number of people who actually, applied and the number of forms sold and those who qualified after the aptitude test.
So the number of people who applied will be equal to the number of forms sold, if you can put it that way. And from before I actually say anything on this, I should remind us that for there to be a vacancy of 5,000 and then for over 500,000 forms to be sold, it should mean one particular thing. It means that people trust in the recruitment process. Because if I don't trust in the recruitment process that I can be employed through this particular means, then I'm not going to worry myself
to get
the forms in any way. Because I think that if they have their people, or if there's that particular kind of notion, then I wouldn't even bother myself to go and get the forms. So that is one. And which is something that should be protected at all costs. The trust of people in a system.
Yeah.
If you are running a system and people trust it that this system can deliver me, this system can protect my interest, then we should protect it at all costs, which is something that needs to be upheld when it comes to this particular forms. So over 500,000 forms were stored. And when it comes to the process, the security services, now we saw what happened at Elwa, just by the mere fact that people were called to come and do some aptitude tests and all that. We saw the stampede that happened, and that prompted us to go through the online versions. Now, the general notion is that if you want to serve in the security services in any capacity, you should be able to, one, operate a computer. You should be able to learn how to function with these things. So being online and the age group that you find yourself in, then there's no excuse for you not to be tech savvy, irrespective of the demographic conditions that you may actually be in. So that one, there's a trust of the system or the services that people can actually be employed, and two, the recruitment process wasn't far-fetched from what we actually know. Now, after purchasing 500,000 forms, what then should the aptitude test have been? So now, you need to sieve and filter people to an extent that when it gets to the stage that you are meeting the 5,000 that you need, you are getting the best 5,000 people. Now, Honorable Afenyo-Markins also made some statements. I'm not referring to what he even said in Parliament the last time. During the vetting process, there is the notion that members of Parliament are given a quota for their constituencies each. So I may buy the form. I may be from Accra, but because my constituency, my MP is allocated 5 people for the security services, that those 5 people may not be the best 5 out of the recruitment process.
Right.
Honorable Afenyo-Markin, when he was addressing Honorable Muntaka at the vetting process, said, "This does not mean when I bring my people, you reject them." Jokingly said that. And that particular statement means a lot.
Yeah.
In this particular context, where we have over 500,000 people applying for 5,000 positions.
Yeah. And out of a constituency, you bring 5 people.
So
on that note, Afenyo-Markin actually said something, the minority leader. Let's take a look at what, let's listen to what he said.
Mr. Speaker, the truth is that the recruitment into police, fire, prisons, immigration is becoming problematic. Mr. Speaker, I don't want anybody to misinform the minister. I am not directing any attack on his person. No. I just want to put the facts right. Don't pretend your constituents are not on your case. Mr. Speaker, these unemployed youths, they go to the center, they say you are supposed to go through aptitude tests, you get under the system and you are locked out. The question, somebody told me, he was asked a question, what is the size of a basketball court? You want to go to police. Then you have to answer a question. The AI system that has been deployed must be customized and to ask relevant questions. It cannot be generalized. It's AI, so you are asking general questions. Mr. Speaker, the military did something good. They created a system where people entered to write the aptitude test direct. Mr. Speaker, if it is possible, the system should be changed to enable our boys and girls who are even not educated on ICT to write it manually, so that a proper system is put in place which will allow them to go into the AI space. I am for AI.
Yes, and that was the minority leader, Afenyo-Markin, also sharing his opinion on the issue. Before I come to you, our phone lines have been activated, so you can call in and share your opinion, everything relating to what we've discussed so far. And then I know you were on the floor, but let me get Nana GBS opinion on this very issue.
Honestly, Peter, like I said earlier, I was very sad when I heard this issue because this is something that people have unemployed. This whole issue should, at the first place, tell us the state of unemployment when it comes to our country, okay? Because this number of people have taken their monies to, purchase forms, and out of the forms, I try to tell that you don't know the particular people or know how to regulate and then get the people that you want. Yeah, it's a competition. You have to, do the aptitude test and everything. But I'm talking about how the process at which it's being done. So I try to say that all these people should go back and then sit home and then do nothing. That is the point which I would like to understand better on this show today, because it's quite worrying. The state of unemployment is in our country is becoming too much.
So it now means that, is it that government is not doing well, or the agenda of pushing or helping the private industry to actually do more and absorb more of these youths? Right. It's not coming to fruition, or because when you take a look at the number of people who actually applied, it means that, like you rightly said, we can say that unemployment is at its highest peak.
It's draws the line to unemployment.
Actually shocked me is the fact that the Interior Minister said this time around about 330,000, I think 30-something thousand who applied actually were SHS leavers. Right. And then the graduate actually formed there were about 75,000. Right. Graduates who actually, bought the forms. And so it means that people go out of various universities, they go do so many courses, and they come out, they don't get, places to actually serve. And so it begs the question that what actually are we doing in our tertiary institutions? What are we teaching the students? Are we teaching them, something that when they are out, they can, establish businesses, or they can, just be a part of an ordinary company? Because it looks as though the theory is too much. And then once you're out, everybody wants to be in the government sector because, the government sector, your salary is...
The government is the largest employer. The government is the biggest employer. Yeah. No disputing.
And everybody likes good things, okay? Everyone likes... But the problem here is that not everyone can get access to the security services. And this is where the part where we as a country or the stakeholders should come together and then set factories, to put some of this youth there.
And in certain factories, you need enabling ground. So now let me put this. In 2020, 2021, the number of graduates or the number of enrollments in tertiary institutions was 580,000. 580,000 students were enrolled in universities as of 2020, 2021. 580,751 across tertiary institutions. So now, let's take it as though we are focusing on graduates. Now, when you count 2021, 4 years down the line, because averagely, people who go to universities finish in 4 years. Let's take out the diploma and other people that finish before the 4 years. 4 years for degree holders. So now, when you take that particular amount of the number of people, and then you bring it to the fore that in 2025, 2026, 500,000 people will come out of tertiary institutions. Now, let's look at the number of people that retire per year. The number of people that retire per year in public service institutions is less than 200,000. Those that will be given contracts after retirement are there. Where are the spaces that these 500,000 people are coming to be filled? And once these people fill these spaces, right? Now let's think about another thing. If they fill these slots, to what extent can they fill them? Let's say, if out of them, about 50,000 of them are employed, that leaves a whopping 450,000 people left unemployed. This is for one academic year. The following year, another 450,000 people. So in 2 years or 3 years, you are churning out over 1 million people who are not employed. So definitely the unemployment is the reason why these situations are happening. How then do we do to combat these things? We create the enabling environment for people to start operating businesses. You don't stifle people who have ideas to set up institutions. You encourage the youth to go into farm and agriculture, where areas, the sectors of the economy that are vastly untapped. These are areas that you encourage people to go into to make sure that they can also exploit these areas and even employ other people. But the attention is on government being the biggest employer to employ these people. That is the main issue. That is the main issue. And so this issue, next year, if they should open up this particular portal once again for people to be employed, you realize that about 500,000 people will apply once again. Because, one, I mentioned that they trust that the system works and people can actually get employed through it. And that maybe luck may shine on them when they pass the aptitude tests and all these things, and then they get it. But so the main issue, once again, is the fact that these parliamentarians are feeling entitled to have slots for these limited spaces. 500,000 people have bought forms. And then out of them, even if you want 2 slots, it should be illegal.
Exactly.
And this is something that has to be done. It's something that should be spoken and rung into their heads. That you cannot sit where you are. He mentioned it in his statement, Afeni Markins, the Honorable Minority Leader. He mentioned it in his statement that don't act as if your constituents are not on you. It's a serious statement. It's a very serious statement. Don't act as if your constituents are not on you. What about someone like me who has no affiliation to an
member of parliament?
And
or even
I am genuinely one of the highest scorers in the aptitude tests. And I've gone to write this exam, used my money to do it, because you will have access to slots, in quotes.
Sure.
You are going to now put your people in there, and then me, that I'm trusting the system to save me from unemployment by genuinely going through the system.
And that's
it's an issue.
That takes us to the next conversation. That is the process. People are saying that the process is not fair, and then the amount involved. You know, the Ministry of Interior. It's actually government that funds this recruitment process. And so people are of the view that the amount that people pay to buy the form is too much. I think this year they paid 100 Ghana cedis. And then the process itself, people are saying that it is not fair, not leaving the aptitude test. And then it should have, people are also saying that, you know, it should have been a face-to-face exams, not something online, and like the Honorable Minority Leader said, and AI generated something. When we talk about aptitude, if you are privy to some of the questions that were being asked, you could see that, I mean, it does not relate to what they are seeking to do.
So for me, before the IGB comes in, I beg to differ on that particular part. No, when you are doing exams of this particular nature, you do not do the exams to just test people on their knowledge on a particular subject or the field that they are going in. You test the general human knowledge of things. You test knowledge on current affairs. You test knowledge on politics. You test knowledge on the field in which they are going to actually operate. You test knowledge in other fields.
So, Nana, how fair will it be for somebody, a graduate, somebody with a degree, and somebody who completed SHS? How fair would it be for those two people to sit down to write that same exams? Now, putting that one aside,
and they do not get the same questions. The way the system is structured is that there's a big pool of a question bank of about, let's say, 50,000 questions on these general knowledge and issues relating to the field that you are choosing. So the artificial intelligence is going to pick. And mind you, it works. So either you don't tell us to scrap it. Either we enhance it or we tell her otherwise we'll be left behind. Other countries are using AI for recruitment exams long time ago. And we are even now left behind. So we have to enhance it and not call for it to be scrapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise we'll be left behind. That is the first point. The other point I'm trying to make is that it is your responsibility as a person to get the needed advantage when it comes to these aptitude tests. You do not set your own questions for an aptitude test. Whenever the aptitude tests are being set, there's a pool of questions, as I mentioned, over 500 questions or 5,000 questions. And then out of that pool, 30 or 50 of them will be randomly selected for you to answer. So if you get majority mathematical questions, then remember that you are not competing alone. You are competing with 500,000 people and they have to see 5,000. So it is not what you want to answer that they will give to you. That is how unfortunate it is. In other countries, there are places that you write these aptitude tests and then they even correct you and then you go on because there are a lot of vacancies there because you want to actually go in there or they tell you to go and come again. But this particular one, it's ruthless. We are fighting for 5,000 spaces and we are 500,000 people who have bought forms. Everybody has paid that 100 cedis that you have paid.
Now, why do you sell that number of forms, knowing very well that you can only
even if it is 1 million forms that you are selling, you want to get as many people and sieve them because the larger pool you have, the better quality you get into the services.
Now, it means that it begs the question. There are a lot of people who are also saying that some people are somewhere and some certain villages that cannot afford even 2 square meals. So that 100 Ghana cedi is actually a huge amount for them. So for that person to be able to go through that, buy that form at that amount, and go through all the processes for you to just tell the person you are disqualified without actually not even indicating the why and where, you understand.
Because the person feels like, oh, I've done whatever I'm supposed to do.
You see.
Why didn't I qualify?
Also, there's also another aspect where the minority leader is also proposing that, those that were qualified, they should, give them back their money, or they should create an avenue where next year they can actually, be part of the recruitment.
So as for giving them back their money, I think it's a non-starter. They shouldn't even consider it. What they can actually do is that they should consider the fact that they have applied before, and then maybe next year they'll be given priority when it comes to, or maybe next year they'll be given a discount when it comes to the purchasing of these forms. So when you put in your PIN, the amount that you're going to pay will be, let's say, 50% of the amount that you have to pay. But writing it off and telling them that because you bought forms because you believed in the system that you can be employed in this particular system. Now, mind you, previous political, I don't mean to make this political, but previous political regimes, aptitude tests have been written online. Forms have been sold for about 200 cedis or 100 cedis or maybe even 50 cedis in and around that particular amount. We've seen exams being written, and I'm sure the office of the head of civil service was one of the first institutional bodies to begin this electronic aptitude tests and all that. Once these things are done and this is the criteria, then you definitely need to follow suit. You don't pass, you try again. That is how it is. Unfortunately, you may not have money, but the system that we find ourselves in at the moment is so ruthless that it does not favor. Because if you tell me that you are deprived and you don't have money and all that, and I have the money, however I got the money, remember we are all youth and I'm also unemployed. So how I got the money, if I went to do some menial jobs and I got the money and I used to buy the form, doesn't mean that you are going to deny me just because of another person's sentiment.
Right.
This thing is not sentimental. It should purely be based on robust systems. And robust systems are ruthless. When you go to other parts of the world and they are doing these things, when you don't pass, they just tell you didn't pass. When you write some of these international exams which have instant results and you don't pass, they tell you that unfortunately you didn't make the cutoff point. And these cutoff points, Peter, just before you come in, these cutoff points are already placed down or being put there And I'm sure that they increase the percentile because they realize that, if you make the pass mark 45 or 50, we will get about 300,000 people. That would be too much for us to sieve. If we make the cutoff point 70, we'll get about 250,000. That's too much for us to sieve. Let's make it fair. Let's make the cutoff point 85, where we'll have 105,000 people. We'll just take those people who had that particular 85 and sieve them further through other processes, through medicals and all the other things.
Right.
There's Honorable Muntaka Mohammed mentioned that I've been appointed that some people, the medicals is needed for them and they'll screen them out because some of them taking drugs and other stuff, so other hard substances. So the next stage, you see that other people will be fused or will be phased out of it. And then we'll sieve down to further places. And it's just normal. And mind you, the people who are saying that the amount is too much, the system that was set for the exam, it's a lot of money that they used to purchase these systems and to run them. Now, the people who are running behind and ensuring that the recruitment systems or processes are done, it may be through the ministry, it may be not through the Ministry of Interior, and those people will also be paid as well.
But Nana, not to cut you short, we know that government funds some of these things, and then where do government get money from? It's from these taxpayers, and so if we want to serve our country,
it shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't be this hard.
Because
But then, our time is fast spent, so I'll take your last comment on this very story then.
Right. So honestly, I've seen people who say that they've applied for this security service for over 9 years, for over 10 years, and these people are angry, and every year they even become more angrier. And it's like you said earlier, some people trust the system, but when it gets to a point where 5 years after, 3 years after, 4 years, and still you're still telling me that I'm not enough or not qualified for such a position, it makes it more worrying.
So that brings me to my closing remarks, Peter. I'll just say this. Now, with all that I've said about the system and people trusting it and all that, some perpetrators within the Ministry of Interior or within these examination and recruitment councils or systems may now find means of making money out of this. And that is a problem because now the demand is more than what is actually available, the application slots are available. So now you realize that a lot of people will now be entering and paying through back doors and all that. So this is where the systems have to be robust enough to tackle these people and bring them all out.
All right, so Najebia made a salient point that, because the frustration is currently high and people do not know the reason why they've been disqualified. So I think it will be more prudent for the ministry to come out to say, you were not disqualified because of this, but because, like you rightly said, that the competition was very high. And so because most people do not, want to follow. All that they are saying is that, I applied and then I was disqualified, not wanting to know the reason why they were disqualified. And so I think it is prudent they come out to say, based on the number of people we got and then the competition, like you said, sometimes if you want to reduce the number, you just increase
the pass mark.
The pass mark, and you'll be able to see. But then we have a video of some youth who actually, one person who actually applied for it and then she was disqualified. Let's take a look at the video and what she was saying.
Service, I don't want again. I don't they do again. Recruitment back I started 50 last year up to this year. Today this, tomorrow that. Some will receive their message, some will not receive theirs. You know that our network system in Ghana is not okay, but you are doing online stuff. Tell me why you be shifting the dates. First one over shifting dates. No, we understand you. Maybe dates are first date. No, now your result ain't to me in bad. You people cannot your result no ain't to me in bad. Sana sad dates no, and you came to extend it. That is fine. We understand you perfectly. And I would we extending so what the deadline and I to name category A B. They are still on pending. Well, some have received this. So these people, are you not thinking about their emotions or what? You're not even addressing the public on it. Huh? Well, not for me, dear. I don't want again. Misikano, Mami calculating their mass spending was service. Come on, serving my own country too. Serving my motherland too. I have to go through stress. So imagine if the stress you have to go through before your salary will come. But you pay quest now, give me my money. Let me find my somewhere and stay. Eh? Why are we behaving like this in this country? Why are you frustrating the youth like that? Why? Say one can better. Some have done them.
Speaker, let me say that I share in the concerns, the pressure on MPs. As we sit here, our phones are beaming with messages about disqualification. And so let me assure the House and the entire nation that the minister responsible for the interior, especially in respect of the services that fall under his supervision, is taking steps to address the issues. So he's slated sometime to come meet members of both sides to iron out the matters. And I'm sure that the minority chief whip will be reaching out to the other side regarding a convenient time for the minister to come meet them. The minister is also taking steps to meet this side so that we can engage and find a middle ground regarding the solution. And let the record also reflect that this recruitment is the carryover from last year. It will not be the last. That is why everybody is asking for a more reasonable, forward-looking process, so that going forward, the casualties will not be as many as they are. So we are all looking for a more convenient way of doing it, so that people are not felt they don't feel that they've been left out on reason. Speaker, let me.
Yes, and you just heard from, a frustrated youth and the deputy majority chief whip, also talking about this very issue. It looks as though this time around it is going against, the people in power, the authorities, the members of parliament, because they keep on talking about, their constituents putting pressure on them. And so it means that in a way, this process have been, I would say, like a bit smooth. It's void of, people using their power to, get people into the service. So I think that, going forward, I'm sure things will be done to rectify. We have some messages.
Permit me to say this before shortly, before you're missing. Now, if a politician or two politicians from different factions have agreed to say something, we have to be careful about that thing. We have to be seriously careful, and we have to look at it not once, not twice, 3 times. Why are your constituents calling you on recruitment for Ministry of Interior? Are you an employer over there? You are a politician. So why are they calling you? And because you are frustrated that you have no responses to sponsor people or to put people to, that is why you are channeling your frustrations on the parliamentary chamber. Any serious politician, any serious country would investigate some of these statements that these politicians are making. The Ministry of Interior is for Ghanaians, and Ghanaians who have passed through the system to actually go into them, not for people who are your constituents and your party faithfuls who have served you, and that you are putting them to military. And so, otherwise we end up politicizing our security services. We end up saying that this particular year, a lot of the NDC people entered into the military. This particular year, a lot of MP people entered into the military, and that is something that should be wrong. The military and the security services, the immigration, the Ghana National Fire Service, the police service, all these services have to be neutral and have to be anonymous in the performance of their duties. So if politicians are now coming together and agreeing, say, this online system is frustrating them, that means the online system is doing something good. And that then they should be investigated.
Right. Yes, from Nanaya, that means that the online, process is doing something good. I'm sure this is an issue that the Ministry of Interior we'll sit down together with other stakeholders to actually resolve the issue. We have some comments here. I want to read them before we go. This one says, it's Asante from Kumasi. He says, if over 500,000 people applied, why were so many allowed to go through the process if the vacancies were limited? Mother Ghana. This one too is coming from Kweku Dako in Teshi. He says, please, I'm trying to call, but it isn't going through. We are sorry for that. And then this discussion, we are going to continue next week. We'll continue this discussion. So you get the time to call in and share your opinion. We have another one from Inspire. Another one from G Inspire in Ashama. He says, are there plans to increase recruitment numbers in the future to reduce unemployment among the youth? You know, the Interior Minister said something about we being under the, IMF and that spending level, we are our fiscal discipline. So it actually doesn't permit us to, recruit more. And I'm sure as time goes on, that opportunity will be given. This one too is coming from Alidu Muhammad from Santasi. He said, Ghana, could technology or better screening help reduce the number of disqualification in future recruitment? Yes, that is his question. All too soon, we've come to the end of the online and print paper review. And then before we go, let me take your last words, Najibia. What?
Right. So about the security issue, it has become, a talk of town, and which I feel like the government should do something about it. But then again, I would like to, put this out there that not everyone can be recruited in the security services. It's not possible. Okay, the whole youth cannot get into the security services. Not everyone. So they should, do some things, to help themselves out. If government is not coming to their aid, they should, do something with their lives. They shouldn't just put all their hopes. Because I've seen people, like, over years, they've been, trusting the process, and nothing is working out. You cannot just sit home and then just fold your arm and then watch your life, waste away just because you want to be recruited.
That's from Nigeria. You cannot just sit home and fold your arms. Nana, your last word. Just few seconds.
I think for me, I've said whatever I need to say. So whenever politicians from different factions are agreeing on one particular thing, then it should be looked at once, not twice, but 3 times. That means there's something good about this thing that is stifling their influence in the recruitment process. And whatever that is should be upheld. So Ghana first before the politicians and their constituents and rewarding party faithfuls. So this is what I have to end with.
Right, and this has been the online segment with my co-hosts here, Nanaya Asare and Bevlin Na Ajibia. And before we go, we have one person to celebrate on this show. And this one is coming from Jedad. He says, happy birthday to my boy, Chief. May the Lord continue to bless you and may you do greater exploits this year. From all of us to you, Chief, happy birthday to you. Yes, this has been the online segment with me, Peter Ojo Insia. And I did this with Nanaya Wasari and Bevlin Annabelle Ejebia. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for your messages as well. Up next is the business segment. Stay tuned. Hello there, good morning to you once again and welcome to the Business Update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am your host, Kojo Ensia. Now to our stories. The Minister of Finance has validated 45.4 billion Ghana cedis for payment to contractors and suppliers out of 68.7 billion Ghana cedis in claims submitted to the government following a verification exercise aimed at cleaning up the National Payables Ledger. Presenting the update in Parliament on behalf of Finance Minister Dr. Kaseo Atuforsen, Deputy Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem said the audit reviewed and paid interim payment certificates, invoices, and bank transfer advices.
Of the 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted for audit, a total of 45.4 billion Ghana cedis was deemed to be valid for payment. A total of 8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected for various reasons, including unsupported documentation, duplication, overstatement, already paid items, falsified stores receipt advice, and no work done. Out of the 68.7 billion Ghana cedis submitted for audit, a total of 45.4 billion Ghana cedis was deemed to be valid for payment. A total of 8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected for various reasons, including unsupported documentation, duplication, overstatement, already paid items, falsified stores receipt advice, and no.
On that same story, while 45.4 billion Ghana cedis was confirmed as legitimate, 8.1 billion Ghana cedis was rejected due to inflated, duplicated, or falsified claims, and 13.3 billion Ghana cedis remain pending verification. The audit also uncovered irregularities, including fictitious claims under the One District, One Factory initiative and previously paid invoices resubmitted for payment. Away from that story, let's move on to NPA. The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has assured the public that Ghana has sufficient fuel stocks and that the country's petroleum market remains stable despite concerns about development in the global energy market. The assurance follows discussions about the possible impact of rising tensions in the Middle East on fuel supply and prices.
After reviewing national petroleum stock levels with the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition and industry stakeholders, the authority confirmed that the country has adequate supplies of petrol, diesel, aviation turbine kerosene, and liquefied petroleum gas to meet current demand. The NPA indicated that the government and industry players are continuously monitoring fuel stock levels while working with bulk imports and distribution companies, BOST, international oil traders, and local refineries to ensure steady imports and nationwide availability.
On to our last story, technical advisor to Toma Oil Refinery 2OR, Nana Amuasi VII, has indicated that the refinery's return to full-scale operations is expected to strengthen fuel supply security, and help ease price pressures in Ghana's local fuel market. His comments come at a time when global oil prices have surged due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, a situation that is already affecting domestic fuel prices in Ghana.
According to him, the resumption of full operations at TOR will significantly improve fuel availability in the country. He explained that when supply in the market is lower than demand, prices naturally increase. However, the refinery is expected to add about 45,000 barrels per stream day to the market, which should improve supply stability and help moderate fuel prices. He further indicated that once TOR receives its first batch of crude oil, the refinery could begin producing refined petroleum products within a few days. This means the impact of its operations could start being felt in the Ghanaian fuel market within about a week. The development is expected to improve fuel supply reliability while also offering some relief to consumers at the pump in the coming weeks.
Let's now turn our attention to the currency market and the gold coin prices.
And this is how we choose to welcome you back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Annabelle Bethany Ejebia, and today on Lives for Segments, we are still celebrating the Ghana month. And for us here in Ghana, because it is the Ghana month, and wherever you go to, we celebrate it to remember our heritage, our culture, identity, and everything that makes us proudly Ghanaian. Now, one of the most beautiful ways we express our culture is through food. From the coastal regions to the northern savannah, every region in Ghana has meals, that tells a story. Stories of their tradition, family, history, and the community as well. And so today on the show, we are celebrating indigenous Ghanaian meals, the foods that many of us grew up eating, the dishes that remind us of our homes, and the meals that, define our different ethnic groups. So we would like to, hear from you too. What was your favorite Ghanaian dish? And later on, we'll also be cooking our beloved traditional meal, also known as the Poto yam pottage, our delicious yam pottage right here in the studio. So if you are, anywhere around the Nisira enclave, you can join us as we feast. And I'm doing this discussion with our able, gallant, prestigious men right here in the studio, Nanaya Asari and Kojo Insia. Guys, you're welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's always a privilege to be on the
lifestyle segment.
Because here I get to express myself freely.
Right. Nana?
So for me, one thing on my mind, the food that they are cooking today, you mentioned that they are cooking food today. That food that they are cooking, my plate is ready. I've brought it out from my office. I'm ready.
Where's your spoon? Your spoon was ready.
Oh, I have a bag of plastic spoons. So that one they forget. I can share spoons for everyone in the office here. So I'm ready. I'm just waiting for.
Right. So I've been told that we have to, transition to see what is happening behind the scenes. So let's take a look at what's happening as the preparation of the Poto is being started. Yeah, so producer, I would like to see what's happening behind the scenes and how the preparation has started. How is it going?
So our chef for today is
Abena Boabing.
Okay, interesting.
Kunama drinks.
Kunama drinks.
So on the
she's
table,
taking us through the process.
So today we are cooking in Poto.
We are cooking in Poto.
So I can
yam porridge or yam pottage. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that's tomatoes.
Yeah.
I can see she's holding tomatoes.
Yeah, there's tomatoes.
Tomatoes and what else?
There's red oil on the table.
I've seen red oil. I've seen herrings and some salmon. Is it salmon? The fish beside the red oil.
I think it's tuna. Tuna. Yeah. I don't know if they can zoom like a little bit so we get to the ingredients used in preparing the yam pottage.
Since it is traditional food, those days we didn't have what we are seeing, the cylinder and those things. So we were cooking it on
the earthen. Is it the earthenware bowl?
Yes.
I don't know if I get the name correct.
That actually
Apotoyoa.
There's a mochia or something. That thing. Yes. Then they'll use sticks.
Okay.
They'll set the fire inside them. They'll put the.
Peter, wait, are you sure? Like yes. You are not maybe
no.
I've reincarnated or something.
I've been to the village before. I've lived there for some years, so I know what goes on. The beauty of it is when your mommy will wake up very early, like 5 a.m. Sweep the compound, go to the bush, get some fire, come and set. It is three.
I think I've seen stones. What you are talking about.
Yes, and then they will set the fire. And then if you are so stubborn in the house and when they send you don't go, you'll be doing that work. You have to be blowing air so that
you're finding the fire. And the smoke will be entering your eyes.
You see, that kind of thing, it adds some kind of taste to the food. It gives it some taste.
But I wish we could actually see the ingredients because I saw tomatoes.
If it's being zoomed so we can see the ingredients.
I can see I can see salt beside the herrings as well.
Okay.
Okay. So she's now boiling the tomatoes.
No, I think you didn't mention potato.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cocoyam.
She's using cocoyam.
Cocoyam. You know, people use like yam. So it depends on what you prefer, actually. So people use the cocoyam, the yam as well.
Yeah, but this is my first time seeing cocoyam being used from potompoto. And why has she placed the tomatoes on it? Is there
so it's a one pot dish, okay? So as you can see, it's just one saucepan there. It makes it more easier to prepare everything. So you see, our mothers are so, technically inclined, let me put it that way. So by the time the cocoyam is cooking, the tomato is also cooking as well. You don't have to cook, then kind of cook this one separately.
Oh, okay, so it's like multitasking. Interesting. So that's the fish. That's the fish that we are seeing. So I think it's tuna. Is it salmon or tuna?
I'm sure it's like this will be tuna.
This will be tuna, This is tuna.
But on top of the tuna too, I mean, I'm seeing some herrings, some amane. Have you seen the amane?
And then there's salt as well.
Yes.
To give it
that's
that
the
taste.
amane.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she breaks the amane. Oh, interesting. Nice.
Right.
She breaks the amane into the bowls.
Now, so you made mention of something, what we saw initially, like she boiling the tomatoes
together with the cocoyam.
So now when you take a look at the duration, the time for the cocoyam to be ready, and then how is it
soft? It has to be really soft.
So is she going to take it out before the cocoyam gets ready, or?
I think the tomato is more softer. It has this fleshy, so it will the tomato will get cooked faster before the cocoyam. So then the tomato is going to be mashed in the blender. By that time, the cocoyam will still be on fire cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But then before we continue, let's take a journey across Ghana's regions. What were some of the popular, Ghanaian dish that when they mention Ghana, that food automatically comes to mind?
Should we go region by region or?
No, tell me first. When you mention Ghana, what are some of the indigenous meals that comes to mind?
Well, Ghana, we cannot talk about Ghana without talking about wachi. So, because our early mornings, wachi is everything. Yeah. And so wachi is originating from northern parts of Ghana. That's where, those who don't know wachi, it's the rice and then the black-eyed peas, which we call beans. And then they cook it together with some leaves to give it a brownish color. And then it's often eaten with what we call shito, a pepper sauce, a black pepper sauce that we call shito. And it's crazy. You can have it with... Someone told me that wachi is like a mad food because it has picked up everything and everything goes along with it. So you see one food, you have gari on it. That same food, you have spaghetti on it. Or what we call talia. I have to bring
you have wele.
You have wele also. You have eggs. If you want to be extravagant, you go for avocados too on top of it. And then that same food, you have whether you're going for meat or fish, you still go for any of them. That same
people
food,
even add combination of fish and meat as well.
That same food, you are still adding pepper. That's the black pepper sauce. That same food. You're adding stew. Never
be. Okay, let's hear from you, Peter.
All right, so I would definitely choose fufu.
Right.
Fufu. Fufu is actually one of my favorites. I'm not choosing it because it's my favorite. I'm not being biased. But then when you hear fufu, we are talking about
Ghanaian.
And then so for those watching us from the diaspora who do not know what fufu is, fufu is made from boiled cassava. Sometimes some people add cocoyam, some people add plantain, some people add yam as well. And so it's popular in the Ashanti region and also in the Volta region as well. Some of them also eat fufu. And then fufu has a significant meaning. It came about, fufu is not eating alone. You don't have to pound fufu and eat alone. No, fufu in the olden days brought people together.
Yeah, because of how it is being prepared.
Yes.
Because somebody has to be doing the
somebody would have
turning,
to turn
somebody has to be
pounding.
pounding.
And so it was used to determine.
You've not met me before.
We should go and visit Nana one day.
Yes. Don't worry, on Sundays when you come to my house, I'll prepare special fufu for you.
Right.
Na me walk up, me pay me fufu. Me pay all the powdered, me pay tim. What we call tim.
Yeah.
If you don't hear the tim, do you know the tim?
Tim.
Yes. If you don't hear the tim, that means you're not.
I remember I have a very bad experience when it comes to fufu because I don't have that strength to be pounding, but I have the strength to eat. I mean,
but trust me,
I have the strength to eat.
Talking about the strength now. It's not more about the power, it's about the technique.
Exactly.
Fufu a technique. Permit me to use the local dialect.
Okay.
Send out the sim now watching no kakra no. And the bema afe and
then the rhythm.
And the rhythm too as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to insist on 1 2 3 no wager. And then when you hit it whilst it's hot, the banchino and I say barrier no. And I me barrier fufu.
Okay.
And it's best when it's hot.
I haven't tried the barrier fufu.
Oh, you're missing out.
I haven't.
You're missing
but
out.
I think it's very common in Nigeria. That most of
so
the
they call it pounded yam.
But then it's not like you use boiled yam alone. You add cassava. So cassava and boiled yam. Cassava.
So for me, I just go purely yam.
Yam.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So the yam fufu. The reason why I really like it is because growing up, you know, I've lived through diverse cultures. I've lived in a Nigerian family setting before as well, and one of my favorite meals is the pounded yam and egusi. I know we are talking about traditional Ghanaian cuisine. Yeah. So transcending to what we have now in Ghana, then I usually prefer the pounded yam. That's the fufu, barrier fufu. Yeah. So when you
okay, guys, I would like us to travel to the northern region.
But then, before you go, there's some secrets about fufu that people do not know.
Tell us.
Like Nana rightly said, you know, those days, fufu was used to determine the compatibility of people. So before you marry, the elderly people would want you to pound fufu. You see, fufu, it comes with, like Nana said, the rhythm. Someone will be pounding and somebody will be turning it. And so so it comes with, if you don't have patience, and then if you are not someone who listens, you will not be able, that kind of, togetherness cannot come. And so before they determine that these two people can actually, stay together, you would have to pound food and you will see. Because if you don't study the rhythm, you hit the one turning.
I bet you have like experience like that. I have, and I didn't like it, so I didn't continue. In fact, now we have technology has made things easier for us. That people even go to the machines.
There are certain things that we shouldn't allow technology to come and take over. Fufu only be a tim.
No,
Tim.
So you prefer your wife pound the fufu?
Oh no, my wife will not pound. That's what he said. It unites and it's for compatibility as well. Also, just as you mentioned.
Okay, they've taken the tomatoes from the cocoa yam. I think the cocoa yam is still boiling, so I think at this point they will have to get it blended. Yeah. Okay, they're going to use the earthenware bowl, that's sanka, and then the tapoli.
So there's pepper in there as well?
There's pepper.
Oh.
There's pepper to give it that kind of, taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's onion. I don't know if that one too was bought, but some people also, add the onion together with the cocoa yam and then the tomatoes so that they will be softened and then grinded together.
Okay, so will you take us through the step-by-step process of making it, or I should take it upon myself to take us through?
Take it away. Take us away.
Don't worry. We'll talk about the foods. I'll bring you the step-by-step process of making poto.
And then lastly, before you go to the northern region, and then have you ever wondered where like the name fufu came from? Like the name fufu.
Take us away, Peter.
So it all boils down to the rhythm as well. You see, as the pistol hits the mortar, the sound fu, fu, fu. So out of the sound, fufu. That's how we got the name fufu.
Wow.
And so, like I said initially, fufu is not supposed to be eaten alone. You don't just go and you just boil it, go to those machines and do it. No. Fufu in the olden days brought people together. And it was used as a way to check whether two people were compatible or not. You understand? So in a way, it played a major role. But these days, we are just taking it for granted.
Sure. So now I think that they're adding the tomato to the grinded pepper, as you can see on our screens. Yeah.
So now I told you that I was going to tell you the step-by-step process.
Yeah,
of making poto. So when you are doing this particular thing, you need cocoa yam. Right. Usually cocoa yam is preferred to yam. So that's what you need. And then you also need some liquid, which water is usually the perfect one. And then it's not done alone. You choose your protein, usually smoked fish or mackerel or herrings. That's what we are seeing. We saw the mackerel and the herrings as well as she was breaking them. And then you also need one large sliced onion. You slice the onion. And then fresh tomatoes. And then pepper. Right. The pepper that we see. Or they are also called habanero peppers. Right. So that particular
the palm
pepper.
Oil as
so
well.
You need seasoning. You need seasoning cubes. And then as well, madam, I'm cooking. So allow me to cook. Don't come and add your oil to tonight. And then as well, just as you said, we need the red oil.
Yeah.
And we need
but I heard like in the olden days, people use the palm oil, the palm nut soup instead of the red oil.
So you see, those days, when you use the palm nut soup, when you finish cooking your palm nut soup, and that also preserves the soup.
Yeah.
When there's oil, there's enough oil in the soup, it's very difficult for it to get spoiled easily. It's still the same.
But in this modern times, do people still do that?
They still do that. My mom still does that.
Right.
The reason why they do that is because when you use it for the palm nut soup, and then the oil comes on top or at the surface, it inherits some of the flavors from the soup
into the oil.
So into the oil. So when you are using it for your how do you call it? Important. It's oil inheritance. the inherited how do you call it? Flavors from the soup.
Yeah.
That is what we use for the how do you call it? The important. So when you have your flavored, so you don't even need a lot of spices, seasoning cubes and
because,
all that. If your oil has flavor.
But the thing is that like Peter said during the food discussion, it depends on how you do the palm nut soup that you get the oil.
Yeah.
It depends on how the process. Because these days you buy food in the restaurant and you don't even like see the oil. It depends on how people cook.
When people are cooking for masses, in the restaurant,
soup as well.
When you're cooking for masses, I'm sure Peter knows a lot about
it.
When you're cooking for masses, it's different.
It's different. So let's say something that you should, use for a small bowl of soup, because you are cooking for the masses.
Yeah.
You add like so many you add plenty water to it to make it so that you get your profit. But then from the way Nana is talking today, it seems he grew up very close to mommy. He wasn't like some of us who were always on the field
playing football,
not being in the kitchen to find out what
it is a recent thing, I must confess. My likelihood, when you are getting close to leaving the house and living on your own, or when you start living on your own, and then you realize that whenever your mom is cooking, then you realize that you need to stay in the kitchen with her sometimes, because bachelor life no easy.
It's no easy. And then there's not talking about the flavors. There's this thing. They say prekese or something.
Prekese, yes.
Some kind of flavor to
What's the English name for prekese? Viewers should let us know.
We didn't mention one very salient ingredient, which is the momoni and then the kobi. How do you call kobi in English?
Kobi.
This one, this is.
How do you call kobi in English? And Joe, we say a fermented fish.
Well,
I think it's been stored somewhere for some time, so it starts exhibiting that
So kobi,
I wouldn't say smell that kind of aroma.
Kobi is different from momoni. So kobi is the dried salted fish.
So
you can, I think we can call it dried salted fish. And then the type of fish to count, I think it's tilapia. Or is it tilapia that they use for
I think red fish. Some people to use red
so
fish.
it is dried to an extent that it becomes very brittle, very dry. And then it's also salted. And it gives off that sense that when you cook with it, you not
especially when you're doing oil stuff like oil like contumely, garden egg stew, those kind of meals, it gives you that kind of flavor. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of yam pottage. Growing up, I saw my mom feed my little brother with yam pottage. Why? Because it was very easy to make. Like I said, it's a one pot meal. You can, put all the ingredients together. It's not hard to make, The fact that it's for easy digestion. When babies take it helps them to, digest. Because the yam becomes soft, and that was the only meal that can. All the nutrients you can get is there. I mean, the tomato is there, the tuna, the pepper, like almost everything that you need.
So with the ingredients, when you take a look at the red oil, for instance, the red oil is rich in vitamin A.
Right.
Understand? And so red oil is rich in vitamin A and antioxidants, which help improve eye health. It boosts the immune system. It protects the body from certain diseases. Now, when you take a good look at the ingredients as well, we saw tomatoes. Tomatoes is also good for the heart and skin.
Vitamin A.
Yes, and vitamin C. Lycopene, a powerful, they say, antioxidant that helps support the heart. Protect cells from damage.
I think this one, they've added the pepper, the onion, the tomato as well.
And then it's the pepper to also help boost metabolism. The fish as well, it contains protein for body growth.
Omega-3 as well.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's very healthy. If you have to talk about that, it's very, very healthy. But then I also have a question here. Because, growing up, I saw my grandfather, do something. So when maybe they prepare fufu in the house, and mostly those days fufu was being eaten with palm nut soup, groundnut soup, or light soup. So the days that it is like palm nut soup or groundnut soup, he prefers to take the boiled yam, and then he will take soup, then cut the boiled yam into pieces, then pour it into the soup, and start to eat it with a spoon or a fork. Is that also poto, or it's a different food altogether?
Well, I think it's all it's all the preparation, but I think that too can be considered in poto. Just that it hasn't been mashed like how Abena is doing right there. So you can see she's mashing the potato, the cooked. Why do I keep saying potato?
The
cocoyam.
Yes.
The cocoyam. In the
if you are even to go through the process, how she started boiling this with the tomatoes.
So it has, the water has also inherited some tomato flavor.
Exactly.
Inheritance needed.
She's now adding the pepper.
Yeah, everything mixed.
Wow. Nana, so initially you were asking Nana if he had spoon. So never make a mistake by asking a guy that do you have a spoon.
They always have spoons in their pocket. You make me remember SHS, the boys. Hey, you were asked to bring lunch box to school. It was part of your school's prospectus. And then you don't have the lunch bag and you use your pocket as a lunch bag. How is this possible?
When you're hungry, you understand.
We are always ready.
It's very, very funny.
Always ready.
People even had cups in their bag back at secondary school. So when was the last time you tasted in Potom Potom?
It's been a while. It's been a minute since I had some. But
when was the last time? Because I don't remember. I don't remember the last time I had in Potom Potom. I honestly don't remember.
So if I tell you I've never tasted
oh, well then today you have to try them Potom Potom.
So
you're going to be my first.
Maybe that amount that is to the book house.
No, I have. Okay.
You have, but you don't remember.
Because it's not common, okay, in most Ghanaian homes. It's not common.
Yeah,
so
I think
I understand.
Sometime last week, even when I went to my mom's,
it's not a common food to eat every day.
Oh, okay.
So it's now time for the red oil.
Yeah, for the red oil.
Hey.
So I think I can actually practice this at home. I'll try it.
Please don't go do something that people's stomach will be upset.
What?
Wow.
What?
So you see the cocoa yam, you can see the salmon
at
inside.
This point,
oh God.
At
this point, let's just close quickly.
Okay.
So that right now, I don't know whether our producer is hearing me. Producer, please let us close. When you look at the scenery, at the what?
Right.
Lie.
So I think in Potom Potom, originated from the the tree-speaking tribes like the Ashantis. Because those are the places you find like the tubers of how do you call it, the yam, the cassava, and then the parts of. So now I was saying that earlier. Let's travel to the northern region. So what I'll do is that I'll mention. Okay, give me some of the foods that is being eaten in the north.
So the northern region I mentioned earlier, I talked about wache. Wache is one of the foods that was passed down from our northern heritage. So wache is one food that is a mixture of rice and beans cooked with sorghum leaves, as I said, and it can be eaten or served with stew, spaghetti, hard-boiled eggs. You have to be Ghanaian, so you have to add the egg and then fried plantain and shito. So that's what wache is often eaten with, and that's the food that is usually passed from that. Or we trace its origin to the northern parts of Ghana.
Okay. So what about you, Peter? What food? When you mention northern region, what food comes to your mind?
Okay, so straight away it's tuozafi.
I have never tried tuozafi before. Can you imagine?
Madam, you are not supposed to be in this conversation with us.
I have never tried tuozafi. Maybe because
try it with the green.
So what happens is that growing up, it depends on your tribe and then where you grew up. So my place, being a Ghana big girl, we don't eat that. Okay, and hardly would you find like somebody selling tuozafi in the Ghana community. So someone like me, how do you expect me to know how to even eat
that's
it?
True.
So that's one of the challenges that we are facing today.
So talking about Gadangme, do you know the food that we often trace its roots to the Volta region, but it's actually from the Gadangme region?
Which food is that?
It is Banku. Banku and tilapia.
It's like you're going ahead of we are still in there. So I would like to mention some foods that come from the north. So we have the wasa wasa. I don't know if you've tasted it before. Wasa wasa. They said it's a spicy meal made from dried yam flavor. Yeah, and then we also have the tubani. I haven't tasted it before.
What's that? Maybe I know about it.
It's a steamed cowpea bean. It's like a bean pudding, like beans pudding. Yeah. Maybe another time we'll have to look into that. And then we have the kuli kuli. Fried groundnut residue cake. I think I've tried this one before. It has that kind of residue, like
so that kind of. is hard.
Very, very hard. They just sell it in traffic.
Like
groundnut cake. But usually that one it's different. It's not like that Igbe toffee. It's similar, but it is not like that. But that one is in a more slender shape.
Yeah, it's like
is that what they call the Nkati?
No, Nkati cake is made from groundnuts and then sugar.
Nkati cake is melted
sugar.
Yes, groundnut and melted sugar. So that this one sometimes even they go ahead to add after the groundnut they add coconut shavings to it as well, just to enrich its taste. It's
and I think
nice.
one other meal is the wagashi. Wagashi is from the north.
Wagashi.
No, this is not common. We don't even see it again.
Wagashi is like
we don't see wagashi
it's like cheese.
Yeah, cheese.
It's
milk from the cows.
You know the northern parts of Ghana, their main in ancestry times, their main source of how do you call it, livelihood was through cattle herding.
Cattle rearing. So
cattle rearing would mean that they would be able to produce milk. Being able to produce milk would mean that you'd be able to produce cheese. So now this cheese, when they allow it to sit for a while, right, and then it hardens up a little bit, and it becomes, its texture is almost like how do you call it, like meat. Then when you are eating wachi and you have this wagashi on it,
I think I would have to try this.
You haven't taken wagashi before.
Peter, I'm in the wrong company. I'm in the wrong company.
And then there's this drink that comes from the north, pito. Have you tried pito before?
So
yes,
with your reaction, I'm sure you have.
I haven't really
tried
I've
pito.
Not because I don't know it, but I really know it.
Okay.
But I think it has some alcohol in it.
Yeah, it's
so
because it's being fermented.
Yes.
It has that kind of.
So usually I try to, because the way I'm hyper without alcohol, if I try and add alcohol to it, maybe I'll display.
But I think when it's fresh, it doesn't have that alcohol content in it. For me, I was fortunate.
It has, but just a little percent. Yeah.
I had a friend who.
It's just like the insane food.
Whose mother was into that.
Yeah. It's just like the insane food palm wine, because it's being kept for it to ferment and everything.
Too.
So
I try to stay away from the food. I try to stay away from pito.
Yeah.
What I actually go with is, I'm sure the next drink we're going to talk about, asana.
Asana.
Interesting.
Those are traditional drinks that still
asana is
like.
a traditional malt drink. We see. Oh, it's true. It's a malt drink. Usually we look at how do you call it, other malt brands. I don't want to mention the names of some malt brands, and we have not packaged as the asana that we have and branded it, because it has even more health qualities. We've not packaged and branded it to that particular extent that we can actually sell it and export it to foreign markets.
Right.
So it's something that maybe in the future, in my line of business, I'll be looking forward to adding it.
Right. Now let's come to the southern and then the coastal areas. That's like Accra, Central, Western, Volta, and even the Oti region. So one food that is very common among the coastal areas is the kenke, which we call the komi.
Or dokno.
Dokno. In Dangba, we call it otim. Otim. Yeah, so I'd like to give a very small background about how the name komi in Ghana came about.
Pick
so
me.
how the name came about. So Komi, the Komi name came about because Sir Godwin's Bay actually gave the Gans a cornmeal, okay? Give them a cornmeal. So they couldn't mention the cornmeal, and they did it Komi. They mentioned, instead of the cornmeal, they said Komi, cornmeal.
So initially it was Otim. And everyone called it that way.
Everybody called it that way when it was
locally, and because the maize had to be grinded, and then,
exactly.
But then the colonial masters realized that we can do this to help in their staple food.
Yeah.
So let's get a mill to be able to grind the corn,
produce and
to
then
paste
more food.
So then they did it, and then the corn mill has now. Thank you very much.
And do you know how the Ghana people to call the corn mill?
No.
This God were saying komi. Then the Ghana people were saying goji. They named the cornmeal after the one who gave them the meal. So when you go to the Dangbe communities, now they call it. Okay, now let's come to the food. The food is ready now. So you see, it's not even hard to make at all. It's not even hard to make.
Like I said, I'll try this at home. I'll try.
You will try it today. Today.
I mean, trying to cook.
Please bring it to the studio. Tell producer that they should bring it to the studio. We will try it. We will try it here.
This is not hard to make at all. This not hard to make.
I see that. Producer is preparing a table before me.
in the
presence of my co-host. So you anoint our heads with food.
Oh so
with important. This is.
And you know, people also like it to garnish when they are done. People use spring onions. That's like the modern way, though. Yeah. That's the modern way, though.
Table nasset. That's what we are talking about.
So this food is for the accounts, the Ashantis, or
those. Tribes.
Interesting. And I like the way it is being served in the
because these are made from fresh. Let's say you are in the farm, you have your asanka, you've done like a whole day's work. There's cocoyam, you have your firewood, like you said, your grandfather. You just have to fix something as soon as possible.
Quickly.
You had your pepper in the farm, you just have to onion, you cut them, you just blend them, and then you're able to
Could that be the reason why our forefathers lived very they lived very well, dying at the age of 90, 80 years because they were eating healthy food.
So we are having the meal served here.
Interesting.
See the way I'm shivering. I can't wait for
salivary. Good.
Pacho spoons no. Mama is spoons na. Oh, good. That's how the chef in the house. Mami Abna Buabing. Mami Abna, you didn't explain to us the cooking process.
So I don't know why I always get praised when people from our neighboring countries they say that our foods mostly look like food for the gods.
Don't mind them.
Have they tasted our
food? Don't mind them.
Are you guys perceiving something?
The smell.
Are you perceiving
the smell?
The sweet scented.
Right now I'm missing home. I'm missing home.
Wow.
I'm missing home.
Pacho, you bet my pon producer and pon show no na So I think we'll have taste. We'll have a taste of it. I don't know who is going first, but ladies first. So
ladies first.
In everything, ladies first.
We'll allow you to eat first before we come.
So you are getting right into the.
I'm not just eating.
Peter hasn't tried it first. I think we should let Peter try.
No.
We should let Peter try.
Okay. Whilst we fight about who is trying the food, I think I know the answer. Please hold this for me. And whilst you are fighting on who is trying it. Well,
Nana, it's very hot.
I understand.
This is very hot, so you have to be very careful. It doesn't, burn your tongue.
The aroma alone is killing me.
So for me, this is important. Those of you who don't know, and this is made from cocoyam. We have tomatoes. We have some fish in there as well, and then we have so palm oil. So this has turned out exactly how I thought it would turn out to be. So this is the first part of it. I'm going to take some cocoyam. And I'm going to add a little bit of the the fish to it. Okay. So because I'm on camera, I'm not going to display my Nkontomwa skills. So I'm going to just take a little bit of everything and then add it to. Whilst they are fighting on who should taste this first, I'm telling you that.
Nana, it's very hot.
Thank you.
I'm questioning you before.
It is hot, but I'm hotter. So here it goes. This is actually a very savory meal. So,
right.
Please, producer, I'm just asking for permission.
So
I'm taking this to my office once I'm done.
This has been the lifestyle segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show, where we get to have a feel of our local Ghanaian dish in Poto, popularly known as the yam pottage or the yam porridge. And this conversation has been so interesting. If you missed today's show, you can, find your way to our YouTube or Facebook, so you get a whole of the conversation. I would like to wish someone a happy birthday, and this is from Jerusha to Eliana Irabana Ofosua Edunum, her daughter. She'd like to wish her a happy birthday. And to all of you out there who, watched us today, sent your comments and everything, we'd like to say thank you to you and to the production team as well. Thank you so much. And this beautiful piece I'm wearing is from Zeus and Needles. Thank you so much. A shout out to you for making me look this stylish. And this is where we end the show on Clock TV. Don't mind Anna. So see you same time next week. Do have a good weekend. Bye bye. See you next time.